Coming up on this edition of ATV News.
That was it's a day to remember.
We'll show you why Utah State's tractor parade is more than the tractors.
You try to fit into a niche that you just say, well, let's try to make it safe.
We'll show you why your fall adventures at corn mazes in the valley may come to an end.
Wait, where's Elvis Presley?
Are you related to Elvis or Babe Ruth? We'll show you where you can find out about your famous relatives.
It's hot outside today. In weather, I'll tell you when the rain might cool things down.
In sports, I'll tell you what women's soccer did after beating BYU and how volleyball's 5-set thriller turned out.
All that and more, this is ATV News.
Welcome to this edition of ATV News. I'm Morgan Perkins.
And I'm Ryan Lawrenson. The College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences wrapped up Ag Week with their annual tractor parade. Kids lined the streets as Cass tractors rumbled and honked down the road. Utah State students and faculty rode on the floats pulled by the tractors and threw candy. Antique tractors were a new addition to this year's parade.
And we're one of the biggest colleges at Utah State, so I think it's important that we're able to show off in a fun way that is interactive with both the kids and the adults.
Cass collaborated with local organizations and school clubs to get their hands on more tractors for the parade this year. The parade is more than just the candy and the tractors, though.
Yeah, that's right, Ryan. It serves as a reminder of a tragedy. In 2005, 8 students and a teacher from the College of Agriculture got into a fatal crash on the way back from a field trip. The tractor parade started the year after the wreck.
That was it's a day to remember. Yeah, it was a little solemn, but it was a good way to remember all the students that left. They all loved the tractors and agriculture.
This memorial was built outside the Agriculture Science Building in 2008. Each panel represents the agriculture interest of the person who died.
Are you sure you don't have a famous relative? ATV's Anna Johnson visited a new center in Logan that can help you find out where you came from and who your relatives are.
That's crazy.
Those words are familiar to workers at the Logan Family Search Center, but this facility is new to them.
This is such a fun addition to Cache Valley.
The center now shares a building with the Bishop's Storehouse. They opened Friday.
You probably could spend an hour here and make drastic movements in your family history work.
This shows places where your relatives are from. You can go and zoom in closer and it'll tell you even more. This is interactive for every age.
The center has kiosks and computers where you can find your past and record your current family history.
That's where the magic happens.
I'm in the oral history room at the Logan Family Search Center. People can come in here to record their own stories on this camera. The footage and audio will be archived for their families to look at for generations to come.
You can record events from your life. That was really kind of cool. It will record it and then you can download it and either attach it in Family Search or you can just keep it for your own records.
I think when we learn about the stories from our past, it makes us a better person. It helps connect us with them.
It helped me get a greater sense of who I was, to learn about all of my family and their past and where they were from.
Anna Johnson, ATV News.
The center is open Monday through Friday and everyone is welcome. Morgan, do you know where your family's from?
I mean, I kind of do. I know that they're from England, but I just don't know much about them. What about you?
Yeah, my family's actually from England too. My family actually helped settle St. George after they came from England.
That is so cool. Speaking of families, families in need may have to choose between buying food or diapers at the grocery store. Little Lambs Foundation held a giveaway so they don't have to. Parents waited in a quarter-mile line to get things like baby formula and diapers. Workers collected the items and loaded them into their cars. The diaper giveaway isn't the only day the workers are busy.
We have 2 to 3 new signups every single day right now. The need is great, and we are just so proud to be able to offer this open to the community.
Cook says anyone who needs free products can come by and get what they need. She says the best thing Little Lambs does is allows families to have a few extra dollars in their pocket for other things that they may need.
Corn mazes are back for the fall in Cache Valley, but your fall adventures may come to an end due to zoning issues. The owners of one farm are battling the county to stay open. You wouldn't think these kids going down a slide at Little Bear Bottoms Farm makes more money than traditional farming.
We make a whole bunch more money than we do farming.
Jed Clark says he and his family broke into the ag entertainment business in the late 90s.
Basically, a farmer says, I can't make it by just selling corn and alfalfa. And so he invites the public into his land and he entertains them somehow.
It's a fun thing to come out and do with the kids.
With a corn maze, straw pyramid, some haunted attractions for Halloween, and redneck water slides for the summer.
We make enough money to live on that we wouldn't be able to if we just were trying to farm.
This straw pyramid is too high. At least that's what Clark says the county told him. The corn maze behind me may also have to go. Clark says he isn't worried. He says the county is worried. His property isn't zoned for this kind of business. He says a compliance officer hired by the county told him,
now you're becoming a business that invites public in here and we're worried for their safety.
Little Bear Bottoms has to fit into either residential, agricultural, or commercial zoning. According to the Corn Maze's Facebook page, they don't really fit into any of those.
We've just found that they've got so many rules and regulations that don't fit us that work really well for Walmart.
So what can be done? Clark says,
I think there has to be some common sense with the regulations.
And why? So Ensign and his family can continue to...
For me, it's just getting outdoors, getting out with these guys, spending time with family.
And so Clark can continue to support his own family.
We actually give the corn to the local farmers around here. We provide straw bales and just there's hay that we can sell for cheap.
The Clark's property is zoned for agricultural use. I reached out to Cache County Director of Planning and Zoning, Stephen Nelson. He says they don't comment on open investigations. The Redneck Hayride of Terror at Little Bear Bottoms Farm opens this Friday.
You know those big giant pumpkins? How much do you think one of them weighs? People came from as far as Wyoming to find out. The Logan Downtown Alliance turned the weigh-in into a festival. There were odd-shaped gourds and carved pumpkins. People displayed as well as 20 pumpkins in the running for the biggest title. How did the giant pumpkins grow like that?
It's pretty wild to see how fast they grow. They do most of their growth within about 90 days. They can grow as much as 50, 55 pounds a day.
The winning pumpkin belongs to Jay Richard, weighing about 1,784 pounds.
Zahara Nasir is joining us from ATV Weather. Zahara, Morgan, did you guys get to go and enjoy the festival this weekend?
I didn't enjoy the festival, but I did enjoy some warm, sunny weather.
I did see a few pumpkins outside, and I mean, with all those pumpkins, it's starting to look a lot more like fall. Let's head over to our fall foliage map to see how soon it's going to be before we can start enjoying those autumn colors. Here I've got a look at our foliage map, and you can see how soon we're going to see the leaves changing into different colors. Up here in Cache County, you can see that it's a little light golden, which just means we're still a few weeks away from our peak fall colors. In weather, I'll show you when our leaves will be at their peak. And here's a look at some of the first leaves to change on USU's campus. The current temperature is 79 degrees. And after weather,
they just love to come and be a part of it because it just is so fun. Like, the atmosphere is so great.
We're to find unique vintage items. Coming up, we'll show you what people say is the best place in the valley to find them.
That group will fight. We play hard. We just got to play better.
Looking for some answers after their game on Saturday. Noah Giles and ATV Sports will show you how their comeback fell just short.
Welcome to ATV Weather. I'm Zahra Nasir. We've been having pretty great weather, so let's take a look at the national radar to see how that's looking all around the nation. If you take a look at over here in the west coast, you can see that there's a little bit of precipitation, some rainfall, and some snow, and that might be some of the weather that's going to be hitting us a little bit later in the weekend, but I'll tell you more on the 7-day forecast. And if you look at in the middle of the nation, you can see that there isn't really a lot happening. It's just a little bit of clear skies, but this next map will tell different. Let's take a look at the national temperatures. If you look at the national temperatures, you can see that there are different colors going on here. The yellow, the oranges are representing a little bit of a hot temperature, and then the blues here are representing a little bit of a colder temperature. And then if you look down here in Arizona, you can see that it's a little bit red, which means they're actually having pretty hot weather. Now let's take a look at the state radar. If you take a look at the state radar, you can see that it's a little bit, it's all clear skies, just as we saw in the national radar. But if you take a look at right here by Book Fleet, you can see that this little bit of highlighted part is just showing a weather watch, fire watch warning that we've been issued that actually will be lifted by tomorrow. Let's take a look at the state temperatures. If you look at the state temperatures, you can see that there is a lot of greens and yellows all around these states that are governing Utah right here, and you can see that in Salt Lake City we're a little bit in the highs, the 86 right here, just by the hot weathers, and right here where the fire weather watch warning was issued, you can see that it's a little bit hot in the 90s and above. Now let's take a look at what these temperatures are doing for our leaves. This is the map that I showed you earlier of the fall foliage. If you look at this map, you can see that these are the colors that we're actually experiencing right now, and they're supposed to be changing in the new 2 weeks. The weather that we're experiencing is usually warm, and that's when leaves can create more and they look a little bit greener. But in 2 weeks, that will be changing as the weather is becoming colder. You can see right here, we're up here where it's still a little bit golden, but if you want to see a little bit more color, where it is a little bit peak in fall, you can come down here by Salt Lake City and you can see a little bit more. Now let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. For the 7-day forecast, if you look a little bit at here today, we've had a lot of sun, we've had great weather. It was really hot outside with a high of 79 degrees and a low of 43 degrees. That's going to be a little bit the same for Thursday and Friday, but on Saturday, that weather is going to be changing a little bit. We're going to be seeing cloudy skies with a high of 73 and a low of 46 degrees. On Sunday, though, you might need your umbrellas because there is a 20% chance of some rain coming in there with a high of 73 and a low of 46 degrees. Then on Monday and Tuesday, we'll be back up with nice warm temperatures, but not so much. Might be experiencing some rain. And yeah, you're all caught up on weather. Back to you at the desk, guys.
Thanks, Zara. Have you ever seen a grand piano turned into a lamp? They had one at Vintage Market Days, and I checked it out to see what other fun stuff I could find.
I think they're just in really good shape.
The woman looking over these bells is one of 14,000 people walking through Vintage Market Days.
We just wanted to bring something fun to Cache Valley so people could come and have a weekend away and just experience fun and shopping.
It started 7 years ago.
We just felt like Cache Valley was just lacking, like a special event, vintage event. It's a great way for all these people to come support small business, and we love it.
Thompson and her partner put this on twice a year, rain or shine.
The weather always scares us. Having an outdoor event, you just never know, but the support has been awesome.
Here at Vintage Market Days, every booth has a story. Jamie also says that there is something here for everyone.
People love to come shop the booth, but they just love to come and be a part of it because it just is so fun. Like the atmosphere is so great. And the food trucks, and then you have like all the shopping, and then you come with your friends or family. Like it's just so fun.
Me and my roommate, we have a vinyl at our dorm, so we've been getting some more.
Being a vendor can be tricky.
What you think will sell doesn't always, but something else comes and it just like, you could sell it like 10 times over.
But Thompson says that being a shopper is not.
I guarantee you there's something for everybody to come and find. There's treasures.
Their next market will be in May of 2024. For more info, visit our Facebook page. Noah Giles is joining us from ATV Sports, and I found some pretty great things at Vintage Market Days, so I was really excited.
Vintage stuff is super cool. I really like the old school look.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of old, cool, and vintage, I mean, that football game on Saturday might have been an all-time classic. I mean, drama and highlights, everything you could ever want in a football game. But we'll have more on that coming up. The McKay Hillstead era is here. We'll show you what records the true freshman quarterback broke in his first collegiate start. The volleyball team is off to a great start in conference play. I'll show you how the Aggies survived a 5-set thriller against Wyoming.
Life is just more enjoyable when you get that much sleep.
And can you recall the last time you had a full night's rest? We'll tell you how much sleep experts say you need to stay healthy.
Do you have a specific interest or want to study career-specific courses without declaring a full major? Then you should check out one of the 11 certificates the College of Humanities and Social Science offers. From the homepage, we can see the program overview, how it applies to a career, and links to other information. Here's what students in the program have to say about it.
One says they appreciate the range of certificate subjects. Another says it's giving them official accreditation for future jobs.
For more information, check out this URL or reach out to the program advisor.
This is Dave. This is Bob. Dave took multimedia boot camp. Bob did not.
We need company headshots.
I've worked on headshots before and I would be happy to do it again.
We also need to finish our company advertisement video.
I already have a shot list and it's ready for you to approve.
Bob, would you be willing to work on our company podcast?
I would be happy to take care of that.
You're so prepared. You deserve a promotion.
Be like Dave and take multimedia boot camp at Utah State. Get experience in a little bit of
35-yard kick. It's a fake. Oh, no. Nimrod. Oh, he got out of the tackle. Oh, and it's a touchdown on a fake field goal, and the crowd goes nuts.
It's not often that your kicker gets to run one into the end zone, but junior kicker Elliot Nimrod does a little more than just kick the ball through the uprights. Welcome to ATV Sports. I'm Noah Giles. That play came with a little bit of controversy, and we'll show you why as the Aggies took on the James Madison Dukes in the two programs' first ever meeting. The Aggies hosted the Dukes Saturday night as they looked to deliver a win to home fans. We'll pick up the action with James Madison quarterback Jordan McLeod dropping back and throwing this 54-yard bomb to Omarion Dollison 57 seconds into the game, wasting no time getting on the scoreboard. 10 minutes later, McLeod fakes out the entire defense and trots this one into the end zone without a defender in sight to give the Dukes a 17-0 lead. On the first play of the second quarter, McLeod rolls to his right and finds senior receiver Phoenix Sproles wide open in the back of the end zone for the 3-yard score. The Aggies decided to get tricky with the fake field goal here, punter Stephen Kotzenle flipping the ball to kicker Elliot Nimrod, who tiptoes down the sideline for the Aggies' first score of the night. James Madison head coach Curt Cignetti thought Nimrod ran out of bounds on the fake and had one of his assistants hand him a phone with the replay to prove it. Yeah, I don't think the refs appreciated that. Cignetti wasn't penalized for the argument. On the next possession for the Dukes, McLeod fires it in quick to Reggie Brown, who does the rest with his legs. 57 more yards, part of 364 yards and 4 touchdowns on the day for McLeod. True freshman quarterback McKay Hillstead and the offense finally got something going toward the end of the second quarter, with Hillstead tossing this moon ball to junior wide receiver Colby Bowman for a 63-yard score. On the next drive for the Dukes, McLeod fakes everyone out again. You see Bowman there celebrating. Here's the fake. Even the cameraman. The Dukes were rolling at the half, up 21. McKay Hillstead started dealing in the second half with this perfectly placed ball into double coverage to Terrell Vaughn for the touchdown. We'll have more on Vaughn in a minute. In a wild sequence here, McLeod rolls out with a defender draped all over him and tries to find a receiver, but the throw is intercepted by junior linebacker Anthony Switzer. Switzer with a little toe drag swag on the sideline there. On the next possession for the Aggies, Hillstead finds Vaughn for his second score of the night. Vaughn ended the game with 10 catches for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. Heading into the fourth quarter, Hillstead finds junior wide receiver Micah Davis streaking down the sideline for a 76-yard score to tie the game at 38. Hillstead ended the game with 399 yards, passing a USU freshman record, and 4 touchdowns. With 6 minutes to go in the game, McLeod drops back and takes a hit as he finds Reggie Brown once again, who slips a tackle and outruns the rest of the defense for a 74-yard touchdown. Brown finished with 160 yards and 2 scores. The Aggies had a few chances late in the game. Here in the red zone, Hillstead rolls and throws the ball right to linebacker Aiden Fisher. And then with 43 seconds left, Hillstead fires it to Bowman, who then gets leveled by the defender, knocking the ball loose, and his teammate D'Angelo Pons catches it for the interception to seal the win for the Dukes, 45-38. After the game, USU head coach Blake Anderson said true freshman quarterback McKay Hillstead is the guy moving forward.
He's the guy that I think gives us the best chance to win, and that's what we want to do, and we don't want to wait a year to do it. We want to do it now.
The Aggies head on the road this Saturday to take on the UConn Huskies. We're still keeping tabs on wide receiver Terrell Vaughn, and he had a monster game against JMU. Let's head over to the tracker. Sweet, so we are back here at the Terrell tracker. Vaughn is second in the nation in catches and tied for first with 6 touchdowns, continuing what has already been a special season. With 10 catches on Saturday, Vaughn is at 38, which means he needs 65 more catches to break the USU single-season record. That's barely over 8 per game for the rest of the season. Vaughn is averaging 9.5 per game through 4. He now has 94 career catches, which means he needs 85 more catches to pass Kevin Robinson for the USU career receptions record. We'll keep you updated as he gets closer to these records, but we'll head over to high school football as the Skyview Bobcats visited the Logan Grizzlies. We'll start it off here with senior running back Brevin Egbert taking the handoff, getting to the outside, and turning on the Jets, flying past defenders for his first touchdown of the night. A few minutes later, Logan quarterback Keaton Pond steps up in the pocket, directs some traffic before lofting a ball to senior wide receiver Cooper Red, who outruns everyone on the way to the end zone. Later, with Skyview knocking on the door to the end zone, Egbert takes the handoff up the middle to score again. Here in a few possessions, Pond finds Red on the slant for their second touchdown connection of the night. But the night belonged to Egbert, here taking another handoff, cutting it back before taking it all the way to the house, avoiding everyone on his way there. Egbert finished with 247 rushing yards. Egbert again takes the handoff and goes outside. This time he cuts it back inside and just casually drags a Logan defender for about 10 yards into the end zone, looking like a man among boys out there. Logan managed to make a few plays later in the game, here with this throw from Pond to Red again, elevating over the defender for the contested catch. That led to Pond handing off the ball to Keaton Avila as he wiggles his way through the defense for the Grizzlies' final score of the night. Hey, remember that Egbert guy? This right here, this was the last of his 6 touchdowns on the night. This one from 69 yards out. I don't think it's that fair to be that big and that fast in high school. With the game well in hand, Skyview put the backups in, and sophomore quarterback Jack Clark bullies his way into the end zone. Skyview ran all over Logan with the final score of 69-18. USU volleyball started conference play this week at home against Wyoming, and it went all the way to 5 sets. The Aggies hosted an undefeated Wyoming squad who was 11-0 coming into the match, and you could see why with Wyoming sophomore middle blocker Tierney Barlow coming up with a huge block in the first set. A few points later, Barlow elevates for this huge kill. Later in the first set, USU sophomore Kaylee Ray smashes home this kill, part of a career-best 12. But the Cowgirls responded here with senior outside hitter Corinne Caruth crushing this ball down the line. The Aggies, however, would take the first set. Here in the second set, freshman libero Cambry Rodriguez digs the ball out, which leads to the spike from junior Adna Mehmetovic. A few points later, Wyoming sophomore Riley Schultz hits it off USU's Leah Walton-LeBoy for the point. Still in the second set here, Rodriguez gets another dig, part of a match-high 22, which again leads to Mehmetovic crushing the ball for the cross-court kill. But once again, Wyoming's defense responded with a huge block from sophomore Sarah Holcomb. The Cowgirls had 12 blocks on the night. A few points later, Barlow again runs up for the kill as the Cowgirls took the second set. Going into the third set, Rodriguez barely sneaks this one over the net for an ace. The Aggies had 7 aces on the day. The Aggies kept feeding Mehmetovic the ball, and she kept the points coming with another kill here. She had 17 on the day. Later in the set, Holcomb tips the ball over the net, and the Aggies scramble to get it, but USU's Shelby Capelon hits it back over the net, and the Cowgirls can't get to it. The Aggies took the third set. Heading into the fourth set, off another dig from Rodriguez, junior setter Beatriz Rodriguez sets up Ray for another kill. Rodriguez led the Aggies with 27 assists. With Barlow serving for set point, she lasers it over the net, and the Aggies can't handle it. We're going to 5 sets, people. The Aggies closed the 5th set on a 7-0 run to seal the deal with this block from senior Kelsey Watson to win the set 15-6 and the match 3-2. The Aggies also hosted Colorado State and beat the Rams 3-1. They head out on the road this week to face New Mexico and Air Force. USU cross country swept the team titles at the NCAA Mountain Regional Preview in Nevada, with the men taking 4 of the top 5 spots and the women taking 8 of the top 12. USU hockey beat UVU 13-2 this week as they prepare for their home opener on Saturday against Idaho State. Women's tennis, junior India Nespor placed 5th in her bracket at the Bedford Cup in the Mountains, beating New Mexico freshman Allison Romero 6-0 and 6-1. Seniors Bowden Zarkovich and Stin Parda Cooper each walked away with individual titles from the Bedford Cup at Air Force last weekend. Their next tournament is this weekend in Colorado Springs for the ITA Cup. Following their win over number 1 ranked BYU, the women's soccer team fell on the road to Air Force 1-0. You're all caught up in sports. Back to you at the desk, Ryan.
Thanks, Noah. Being back to school after summer might be a big change for you and your routine as a student, especially when it comes to your sleeping schedule. Zahara Nasir shows you how much sleep experts say you need to stay healthy.
Students are walking to their classes to attend lectures. Some of them say managing schoolwork and social life can sometimes be challenging.
There's not a lot of time in the day to do a lot of the things that we're assigned and be able to manage all the aspects of life that I want. What is her name, Aaliyah?
Hanging out with friends is one way students say they can relax, but sometimes it can be a difficult decision to make.
When my friends are out doing something, I'm like, do I go to get like a decent amount of sleep tonight, or do I go out and get some social?
Hangouts might be fun, but experts say students should prioritize the sleep to help stay focused, improve their concentration and academic performance, because when they don't do this, it's the opposite.
I can tell when I'm more drowsy, I'm not as focused and I can't pay attention as well.
A study published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science showed that for every hour of nightly sleep lost over the semester, students' grade point average dropped by 0.07 points.
This is a student who gets 7 or more hours of sleep, and that is a student who doesn't. This study shows that this student is likely to perform better than the other student and even score higher GPA points.
Whenever I'm well rested, I always do better throughout my whole day with everything, with energy, motivation, schoolwork.
The Center for Disease Control and Prevention says adults that are 18 to 60 years old need 7 hours of sleep a day to stay healthy. Students say they're doing their best to hit the mark.
I try to get a decent amount, even if sometimes you have to sacrifice other things for it.
Zahara Nasir, ATV News.
Experts also remind you to avoid using electronic devices 30 minutes before bed to help you sleep faster. Thanks for watching this edition of ATV News.
You can watch this and other editions on our Facebook page.
We'll leave you with shots from the Giant Pumpkin Festival.
Have a great week, Cache Valley.
Get caught buzz driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, knock it off.
Sorry, Mom. It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.